155 billion. That's 12 digits, 9 zeros, and the net worth of the richest man in the world. For those keeping score at home, that's 2.2 million times the median American net worth. At $50,000 a year in living expenses, that amount of cash would last 3.1 million years, or 31,100-year lifetimes. Is this what you want? I'm really asking, is this the kind of society you want to live in? Does it make sense? Does it seem fair? Don't get me wrong, I don't have anything in particular against Jeff Bezos. Amazon is amazing. He's clearly created a lot of value and should be compensated accordingly. The problem is the scale, the extremity of it all. That number is a symptom of our increasingly winner-take-all economy, a byproduct of a perfect storm of inequality, as the forces of globalization, automation, and neoliberal policy cut away at a growingly precarious middle class. It wasn't always this way. In 1801, the most famous and well-compensated artist was a British opera singer named Elizabeth Billington. She made a little over $1 million a year. Only so many people could fit in the Royal Opera House, and Billington could put on only so many shows. Her modern equivalent doesn't have this problem. Instead of serving thousands, she's able to serve billions, and so that yearly salary has multiplied many, many times over. It doesn't have to be this way. We can change the rules, if we want. Let's try a quick thought experiment. Which of these societies would you prefer? One where the top 20% owns a third of the wealth and the bottom 20% owns 10%? Or one where the top 20% owns 84% of the wealth and the bottom 20% owns 0.1%? If you're anything like 94% of Democrats and 90% of Republicans, you prefer the first choice. Here's the kicker. These aren't made-up numbers. The first example describes Sweden, the second describes America. But even the US wasn't always this way. In the time period economists call the golden age of capitalism, top marginal income tax rates averaged about 70%, and we built the strongest middle class the world has ever seen. A lot has changed since the middle of the last century, and I don't think we can simply turn back the clock. There's no going back on globalization and automation, and I don't think we should want to. If we do it right, these forces can help everyone. But the point is this: we determine the rules of the road. Is it healthy for so much power to be in the hands of so few? Our media, our politics, Bloomberg, Murdoch, Koch, Turner, and increasingly Zuckerberg, Page, Bezos. At a time when existential threats are pulling into our driveway, nearly ready to knock on our front door, a time when the excesses and blind spots of capitalism are more obvious than ever. Is it healthy to let our democracy turn into a plutocracy? Capitalism isn't some natural outgrowth from the state of nature. We made up private property and corporations and contracts and laws in order to increase human happiness. In large measure, this worked. But the unfettered version of this new system came with significant downsides: inequality, volatility, negative externalities. So why don't we create the system we actually want? One with less billionaires and more millionaires, less poverty and more sustainability. In a democracy, we don't have to allow this. So why are we?